Good morning. On the last period we have started structure of atoms and nuclei. At that time we have seen Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. 3 postulates: circular orbit, spectral line, origin of spectral lines. What is origin of spectral lines? That is, electron can radiate energy only when it jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, which is equal to difference between energy levels of 2 orbits, and this energy is radiated in the form of photon energy, that is h mu. Okay. त्यानंतर आपण काय पाहिलं होतं? रेडियस ऑफ बोर ऑर्बिट and energy of Bohr orbit. Radius is directly proportional to square of principal quantum number, and energy of Bohr orbit is inversely proportional to square of principal quantum number. आज आपण पाहतोय आणखी एक कन्सेप्ट, ती म्हणजे अबाउट एक्सप्रेशन फॉर वेवलेंथ ऑफ स्पेक्ट्रल लाइन. वेवलेंथ ऑफ spectral line. Spectral lines. Wavelengths of spectral lines. See, if suppose En, that is energy of electron in nth orbit, energy of electron in nth orbit, Em, energy of electron in mth orbit, such that M is greater than N, means mth orbit is higher than that of nth orbit. If En, energy of electron in nth orbit, Em, energy of electron in mth orbit, such that M is greater than N, then energy of electron in nth orbit काल आपण पाहिलं होतं. energy of electron in nth orbit काल आपण एक्सप्रेशन पाहिलं होतं. what is that energy? energy of electron in nth orbit minus हिता आहे पहा, minus m z raised to n e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square into 1 by n square. That is minus m z square e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square into n square. N, that is number of orbit. Energy of electron in nth orbit हा total constant आहे, inversely proportional to square of principal quantum number. Similarly, Em, energy of electron in mth orbit, n च्या जागेवरती m minus m z square e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square into h square into m square. हित हा m mass of electron, हित m हा mth orbit आहे. According to third postulate, postulate of Bohr's theory, according to third postulate of Bohr theory, electron can radiate energy only when it jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level, which is equal to difference between energy levels of 2 orbit, and this energy is radiated in the form of photon energy, that is Em minus En is equal to h mu. This energy is radiated in the form of photon energy h mu, which is equal to difference between energy levels of 2 orbits. EM energy level किंवा energy in nth orbit, En energy in nth orbit. Therefore H mu is equal to EM, याच्यातून हे मायनस करायचं, EM मायनस EN. EM किती आहे? मायनस एम झेड स्क्वेअर ई रेस टू 4 डिवायडेड बाय 8 epsilon naught स्क्वेअर एच स्क्वेअर इंटू एम स्क्वेअर. मायनस हे करतोय, मायनस मायनस प्लस एम झेड स्क्वेअर ई रेस टू 4 डिवायडेड बाय 8 epsilon naught स्क्वेअर एच स्क्वेअर इंटू एन स्क्वेअर. कॉमन काढा इथं. समजा कॉमन काढलं एम झेड स्क्वेअर ई रेस टू 4 डिवायडेड बाय 8 epsilon naught स्क्वेअर एच स्क्वेअर इंटू ब्रॅकेट इथं राहिलं 1 बाय एन स्क्वेअर मायनस 1 बाय एम स्क्वेअर. इथं 1 बाय एन स्क्वेअर मायनस 1 बाय एम स्क्वेअर, 1 बाय एन स्क्वेअर मायनस 1 बाय एम स्क्वेअर. But if suppose lambda, that is wavelength of spectral line, c, that is velocity of spectral line, mu, that is frequency of spectral line, then we know that velocity is equal to mu into lambda. जसं आपण रिलेशन लिहितो पहा, v is equal to n lambda. velocity of wave phi is equal to n lambda. त्याच पद्धतीने velocity c is equal to frequency into wavelength, frequency mu wavelength lambda. Therefore mu is equal to c divided by lambda. मिळालेली व्हॅल्यू आता आपण इथं भरतोय. therefore h into c divided by lambda is equal to m z square e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square into bracket 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. ह्या दोघाला इथं खऱ्याना. Therefore 1 by lambda is equal to, इथं खाली घेतो ह्या दोघांना, m z square e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square. इथं h square into h, हा h इथं जाईल, h square into h म्हणजेच h cube into c into bracket 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. As all these terms are constant, this total term is called as Rydberg constant, that is RH. Rydberg constant m z square e raised to 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h cube into c. हा रेडबर्ग कॉन्स्टंट आहे आणि त्याची व्हॅल्यू असते 1.097 इंटू 10 रेस टू 7 पर मीटर. हा जो कॉन्स्टंट आहे टोटल, त्याची व्हॅल्यू किती असते? 1.097 इंटू 10 रेस टू 7 पर मीटर, called as Rydberg constant, and therefore wavelength of spectral line becomes 1 by lambda is equal to RH into bracket 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. This is an expression for wavelength of spectral lines. This is an expression for wavelength of spectral lines. What is wavelength? RH 1 by lambda is equal to RH, Rydberg constant, 1 by n square minus 1 by m square. This is about wavelength of spectral lines. इथं आपण काय केलं, दोन एनर्जी लेवल कन्सिडर केल्या. En energy of electron in nth orbit, Em energy of electron in mth orbit. Then En तयार केला. थर्ड postulate, difference between energy levels is equal to photon energy. Simplify केलं. If lambda wavelength of wave, c velocity, nu frequency, then velocity is equal to frequency into wavelength, and therefore frequency c divided by lambda. मिळालेलं फ्रिक्वेन्सी आपण इथं घेतलं आणि थोडंफार सिम्प्लिफाय केलं. हा जो कॉन्स्टंट आहे टोटल त्याला म्हणतात रेडबर्ग कॉन्स्टंट RH. दिस इज अन एक्सप्रेशन फॉर वेवलेंथ ऑफ स्पेक्ट्रल लाइन्स. त्यानंतर एनर्जी लेवल डायग्राम अँड ॲटॉमिक स्पेक्ट्रा ऑफ हायड्रोजन ॲटम यावरती आधारित एनर्जी लेवल डायग्राम and atomic spectra of hydrogen atom. Atomic spectra of hydrogen atom, energy level diagram and atomic spectra of hydrogen atom. आपण डायग्राम काढतोय, एनर्जी लेवल डायग्राम बघा. एनर्जी लेवल डायग्राम इथं ही होरिझॉन्टल लेवल. जसं आपण वरती जाऊ तसं हे डिस्टन्स कमी कमी करत जायचं. Energy of electron in first orbit, second orbit, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, like this. This is our n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2. Lower orbit, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. Then diagram. Lemon series, Lyman, Balmer, Passion, Paschchen, bracket, Bracket, fund, Pfund. Diagram. The first orbit which has minimum energy, first orbit that is which has minimum energy minus 13.6 electron volt is called as ground state of atom. Ground state of atom. The first orbit for which energy minus 13.6 electron volt is called as ground state, and all above other higher orbits having higher energies are called as excited state. Means for all other orbits, that is for n is equal to 2, 3, 4 are called as excited, excited state. For first orbit, that is n is equal to 1, energy is minimum minus 13.6 electron volt called as ground state of atom, and for all other orbits, means above n is equal to 1, that is n is equal to 2, 3, 4 are called as excited state of atom. The energy required to take an electron from ground state to excited state is called as excitation energy. Excitation energy म्हणजेच एखादा इलेक्ट्रॉन समजा ग्राउंड स्टेटला असेल तर या इलेक्ट्रॉनला या ऑर्बिट पासून एखाद्या हायर ऑर्बिटला घेऊन जाण्यासाठी जेवढी एनर्जी लागते त्याला म्हणतात त्याची एक्साइटेशन एनर्जी. The energy required to take an electron from ground state to any excited state is called as excitation energy of electron in that state. Okay, and therefore excitation energy of second orbit, therefore excitation energy of second orbit काढायचे असेल तर मग E2 minus E1 करायचं. एक्साइटेशन एनर्जी ऑफ थर्ड ऑर्बिट काढायचं असेल तर मग E3 minus E1. What is excitation energy? The energy required to take an electron from ground state to any excited state. Ground state to any excited state is called as excitation energy of electron in that state. The minimum amount of energy required to set free electrons from ground state is called as ionization energy. त्यानंतर आपण आणखी एक टर्म पाहतोय आयोनायझेशन एनर्जी. आयोनायझेशन एनर्जी, एक्साइटेशन एनर्जी, आयोनायझेशन एनर्जी. एक्साइटेशन एनर्जी इलेक्ट्रॉनला एखाद्या पर्टिक्युलर ऑर्बिटमध्ये मूव्ह करण्यासाठी जेवढी एनर्जी लागते त्याला म्हणतात त्या ऑर्बिटची एक्साइटेशन एनर्जी. आणि इलेक्ट्रॉनला ग्राउंड स्टेट पासून फ्री करण्यासाठी द मिनिमम एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्रॉम इट्स ग्राउंड स्टेट is called as ionization energy of electron. What is ionization energy? The minimum energy required to free the electron from its ground state is called as ionization energy, and that ionization energy is plus 13.6 इलेक्ट्रॉन व्होल्ट. म्हणजे या इलेक्ट्रॉन व्होल्टला एवढ्या एनर्जीला तो इलेक्ट्रॉन यामधून फ्री होतो. When metallic object is heated, then it emits radiations of different wavelength. When these radiations are passed through prism, then we get continuous spectrum. Continuous spectrum आणि line spectrum. When metallic object किंवा फार तर when म्हणा when metal is heated, then it emits radiations of different wavelengths. When these radiations pass through prism, then we get continuous spectrum. And about line spectrum, if hydrogen gas inside tube is heated, if hydrogen gas inside tube is heated, then it emits radiations. When these radiations pass through prism, then we get line spectrum. म्हणजेच मेटल ऑब्जेक्टला जर आपण हीट केलं तर त्यापासून तयार होणारे रॅडिएशन्स जर प्रिझम मधून पास केली तर आपल्याला कंटिन्युअस स्पेक्ट्रम मिळतो. When metal object is heated, then it produces radiations. It emits radiations. When these radiations pass through prism, then we get continuous spectrum. But if hydrogen gas inside tube, glass tube, is heated, then it emits radiations, line spectrum. The wavelength of this line spectrum is 1 divided by lambda is equal to RH into bracket 1 by n square minus 1 by m square, where n and m are lower and higher orbits respectively are, that is readable constant. These spectral lines are divided into different groups. These lines are divided into different groups known as series. These spectral lines are divided into different groups named as series with names of scientists who studied them, that are Lyman series, Balmer series, Paschen series, bracket series and Fund series. With n is equal to, याच्यासाठी n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, 4, 5 like this. And higher orbits, याच्यासाठी higher orbit 2, 3 वगैरे या पद्धतीने. Balmer series contains 4 spectral lines. In case of Balmer series, n is equal to 2 and m is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. म्हणजे lower orbit असते 2, higher orbit 3, 4, 5 like this. These lines are called as H alpha, H beta, H gamma, H delta lines. In case of Balmer series, contains 4 spectral lines for which n is equal to 2 means lower orbit is 2 and higher orbits are 3, 4, 5, 6. And these lines are called as H alpha line, H beta line, H gamma line and H delta line. For shortest wavelength and for longest wavelength. For shortest wavelength m is equal to n plus 1 and for longest wavelength m is equal to infinity. हे एक लक्षात ठेवायचं. फॉर शॉर्टेस्ट वेवलेंथ m is equal to n plus 1, फॉर लॉंगेस्ट वेवलेंथ m is equal to infinity. मग याच्या आधारे तुम्हाला कोणत्याही सिरीजची कोणत्याही लाईनची तुम्हाला वेवलेंथ डिटरमाइन करता येते. शॉर्टेस्ट वेवलेंथ असेल तर याच्यावरच घ्यायचं आणि लॉंगेस्टला काय करायचं इन्फिनिटी. m is equal to infinity means this part is 0. Okay, this is about energy level diagram and atomic spectra of hydrogen atom. तर ही डायग्राम आहे. ह्या डायग्राम मध्ये ह्या सर्व सिरीज आहेत. त्या सिरीजची वेवलेंथ या पद्धतीनं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन values of m and n, there are different groups of lines known as series with names of scientists who studied them, that are Lyman series, Balmer series, Paschen series, Brackett series and Fund series like this. Okay, इथं काही कन्सेप्ट आहेत. ह्या डेफिनेशन लक्षात. एक्सायटेशन एनर्जी, आयोनायझेशन एनर्जी, कंट्रोल स्पेक्ट्रम कधी तयार होतो, लाईन स्पेक्ट्रम कधी तयार होतो. कंट्रोल स्पेक्ट्रम मेटल हीट केला आणि लाईन स्पेक्ट्रम हायड्रोजन गॅस इनसाइड ग्लास ट्यूब जर हीट केला तर त्यापासून जी रेडिएशन्स तयार होतात प्रिझम मधून पास केल्यानंतर कंट्रोल्स मिळतो आणि याच्या बाबतीमध्ये लाईन मिळतो. इन केस ऑफ बाल्मर सिरीज लोअर ऑर्बिट इज 2 and higher orbits are 3, 4, 5, 6. Depending upon that, there are 4 lines, spectral lines, that are H alpha, H beta, H gamma and H delta lines. For shortest wavelength, higher orbit is n plus 1. Lower orbit तर n आहेच, पण higher orbit काय करायचं n plus 1 घ्यायचं. For longest wavelength, higher orbit is infinity. And if m is equal to infinity, then this total term becomes 0. This is about energy level diagram, atomic spectra of hydrogen atom. Okay, त्यानंतर यापैकी काही भाग तर डिलीट झाले आहे. आपल्याला आणखी एक भाग स्टडी करायचा आहे, तो म्हणजे लॉ ऑफ रेडिओ ऍक्टिव्ह डिके. आणखी एक आपण भाग स्टडी करणार आहोत. लॉ ऑफ रेडिओ ऍक्टिव्ह डिके, हाफ लाईफ पिरियड, ॲव्हरेज लाईफ ऑफ रेडिओ ऍक्टिव्ह स्पेसीज किंवा रेडिओ ऍक्टिव्ह एलिमेंट्स. ओके, that part out next period.